socks are dropping with everything going on. And Lord, I want to thank you that everyone has come out today, even if it was just for a second to just come out and to listen to your word. Amen. So as you all know, this weekend has been our mission weekend. So we started out on Tuesday with our packing for the Bahamas, which is not being sent out anymore. But to me, it was amazing to see that even with all the fear traveling around and even with everything going on, still so many of us came out and sorted all the food and all the clothes and everything that was given out, which was a lot. There was so much given out from everyone, from the community all together. Everyone brought something, even if it was small, like toothbrushes. And that to me was such an amazing sight to see. Because even when there's no hope or everyone is scared, there's always a community to push you back. So in 1 Samuel verses 24, the Bible says, "But be sure to fear the Lord and serve him faithfully with all your heart. Consider what great things he has done for you." That's something that when I was looking for verses for today was something that stood out to me for some reason. Because of everything that's been going on lately, it's not only with the pandemic and everything, but we've had a lot of time, we've spent a lot of time in the beginning of the year in the hospital with my grandpa, or with just my mom in general. Sometimes your faith wavers. And it's natural, but you should never have the fear that it's going to go away completely. Your faith should always stick to you. And my faith wavered. And it's never wavered as bad as it did. But it did. And even with all the fear that was going through us, my mom and I sat and we prayed. We had Ginger come out and she prayed with us. That was something that not a lot of people would do. Not a lot of people would go to a hospital and pray for you over someone they've never met. And the fear went away. I no longer worried about what was happening. I no longer worried about who was there, who was listening. I just knew that God was with me. We were in Bible study. We were at Link Wednesday, and we were talking about fear. And one of our verses was telling us that why do we fear if we have God with us? And that to me stuck out. Because God's always with us. God brings us closer to each other through service and through different missions. Like this week, Friday we came and we packed bags for the homeless. And that was hectic. But so much fun. And through things like that, you bring people together. You bring a community that might have been separated, or people who might have never talked to each other, together to do something for God, and to bring them together for everything they've done and for everyone. And that to me was always you've always heard it, oh, God brings people together, but you don't believe it till you hear it, or till you experience it yourself. Because even with God being this all mighty and powerful person, he takes his time individually for all of us to bring us together. And to bring everyone to support something and to show love for someone or for something. Even if we've never met them. You've never met half the homeless people those blessing bags are going to, but you still took time out of your day to come and pack them because God told you, show your service, bring them together. We love them. Even if they don't know it, and even if they're alone out on the street, we still love them. They're still a part of our community, and they're still out there. And there's a lot of them out there. We packed 39 bags, which were quite full. Some of them were very hard to close. And that to me, I love that. I love that I was able to be a part of something like that. My mom and I have been on this for a month. Kat, we need to do this. Kat, we need to do that. Yeah, we need to do it. It was something that brought us all together. watching the movie, sitting there eating frozen pizza. They were good frozen pizza. Promise they were good. It was just like, just the little things bring us all together. And that's through service, and that's through God. And that's something that we were talking about the other day with my mom. My mom and I talk a lot. And we like sometimes it's not even about anything like important. And then other times we sit there and we like pray with each other. Like if one of us had a bad day, we'll sit and we'll pray. Or we'll just talk about a sermon or something that we read. Or I have this thing, because I have the Bible app on my phone. So my Bible app every day sends me the daily verse. And when I think that is really cool, I'll screenshot it and send it to her. And she'll send me one in return. So we just like every day it's like a different part of the Bible. Or Louise, yes, Louise also sends verses into our link thing, which I also send to my mom, because my mom gets everything that I get. It's just, it's how it works. Unity. And like, it's something that we were talking about, because my mom and I, with school and everything, and her working and leaving at school, like, we don't spend as much time as we used to. And then we come to church. And that's every week, like a certain time that I'm always with my mom. And that to me like stands out, like God like brought us together. Because for a long time there was we'd come to church every once in a while, like after VBS we'd come for like a month maybe, and then we'd fall off. It was consistent. Something about it brought us closer. And now with everything, like we were talking about like mission trip and everything, like that's something I've never done. And I know that mission trip has always been so much fun for all of them. Because you see the videos, and you see the pictures, and you see all their smiles, and they're like active. And I love that. Like I'm happy that people I know and that I care for have brought together to help someone in need. My God, that to me has always been something fantastic to think about. Romans 12, verse 1 says, "Therefore I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship." So we've been talking a lot about praying, and during the season of Lent, giving something up so you can pray or read the Bible. But that's not all worship is. Worship sometimes means you have to go out in the heat and give out bags to the homeless, or you have to go pick cabbage or lettuce or whatever they need help with. Or sometimes it's just making little memories, like giving away someone's shoes when they're wearing them. It had to be mentioned. Yeah. But worship is something different to everyone. But there's always one thing that brings it together, and there's always one thing that no matter what is always there, and that's your service as a community. You can serve alone, pray alone, worship alone, do whatever you want. But it's stronger when it's a community. And when your friends and your family, or people, even if you see people like from church, like people at church, like my mom and I will go out and we'll run into someone at church and we'll sit there and be like, "Oh my God, did you listen to the service the other day?" It's something like, it's funny, it's a funny thing, because even when there's nothing related to anything that's going on, there's always something that brings it together. There's always, like, it's your church family, your brothers and sisters in Christ. Amen. And those are one of the most amazing relationships. My mom's like trying to record it. She is. Anyway, she's always been, my mom is like my rock. Always has been, always will be. But sometimes it makes it a little easier when there's another rock. Like God is our other rock, and God keeps us standing together so that we can lean on each other. My faith is stronger than it's ever been. If you would have asked me a year ago today about my faith, questionable, wavering, Ginger, Louise, Terry, all of them. Even like the kids themselves, even Jasmine, like we'll be at Link and she'll be preaching to us and we'll be sitting there like listening. We'll be doing devotionals for Rock the Universe at 2 a.m. sleeping, like all of us like tired. And you still listen to the message. You still listen, even if you're not like completely there. A part of it always sticks with you. And my community has done that for me. My church family has brought me closer than I've ever been to anyone. Just every day, like there's something different. There's a new verse, there's a new message, there's something new to learn. Because God has always brought us together and has always told us, I am here for you. Now be there for others. Love your neighbors. Something you also hear a lot at church is love your neighbors. But we don't really think about loving our neighbors. We think about loving the people that we see every day, that we sit with at church, or that we sit with at school. You don't really think about loving your neighbors as someone that you don't know, that might need $1 or $2 to eat, or to just get a drink of water. And then you do things like giving to the homeless. You do things like cleaning the community, and that's loving your neighbors. That's loving your family, whether you know them or not, whether you remember their first name, or whether you're just sitting there and talking to them. My mom and my dad went out to eat the other day, like getting breakfast before he dropped her off at work, and there was a homeless man outside of McDonald's. My parents bought him food, and he looked at them. They were crazy. Because you see a homeless person and you don't really think, oh, maybe they need some food. Giving them money helps, yeah, but sometimes all they need is food. Even if you're not giving them the money, you're giving them food. So that's something that, no matter what, always helps. And all the coronavirus, I don't have school for a week. I know FIU is out for a month. Well, I have school for 2 weeks, but one of them is practice for me. But yeah, I was getting it anyways. We were talking, and my brother's out of school for a month at FIU. No classes, they're not allowed. And we were thinking about it, and we were like, it doesn't really affect children. Like teenagers, it's not really like we'll carry the disease, but we don't really show symptoms of it. It's the elderly, and it's like our grandparents, and maybe even our parents, depending on their age. I'm not here to judge, I love you all. I'm not here to, I love you. Where the silent commentary in the background. We love you guys. Like that's always something. But it's something you think about and you're like, oh, it's not affecting me, so I don't care. I know a lot of people that aren't afraid and that aren't fearful of what it could do because it hasn't affected anyone they care about. Because even if it's, oh, in the news or in China or in California, we didn't think anything of it. And now it's in Miami, and now our schools are being shut down. I have a friend that lost his job yesterday because they're closing down where he works because of the virus. So no one's allowed there, so he lost his job. I have a whole bunch of friends that are like, oh yay, no school. But they don't think about the teachers because a lot of teachers don't get paid when school's out. Like they have to be in school to get paid. So we're thinking about that. And then like there's everyone's like different opinions on what to do. Because I was talking to one of my teachers, and one of my teachers is like, they don't need to close schools. It doesn't harm you guys. You guys are fine. You need to learn. And then I have another teacher, which I love. She's amazing. Who was like, my child at the age of 2 years old had the swine flu. I don't want him here. I don't want him out and about at school where you guys are always coughing and touching things and going to the bathroom and not washing your hands. Like, children are gross. Like, I'll admit it. I'm a child. Like, I'm not even 18. You know, there's some really nasty people. Like, just wash it. It's not too hard. A little soap in water, 30 seconds. You're good. And we were talking about it, and it's just the opinions on everything different. And everything has a different opinion depending on how you look at it. We were talking about the different churches. We have other day at our confirmation classes. And we're, like, it was enlightening, like, we were looking at it, and we're like, oh, these people believe this, these people believe that, like, but every time there's something, there's always someone whose opinion outrules another. Because there may be higher thinking or power. And it shouldn't be like that. Everyone's opinion should matter, no matter how small. And that's something, like, even in politics, you hear things, absurd things, all the time. But you don't believe them unless you're someone of power or someone of wealth. Because that's what you look at. You look at them and you're like, they make money. They're right. It's not how it works. It's never worked like that. But that's how you look at it. And then there's different, we were talking once, we went out to eat after church, like our whole group. And I was talking to Louise, Terry, my mom, and like the rest of the group that was with us. And we were talking about like serving. And we were talking about giving like sermons and everything. And we're like, it's cool to like see someone else's intake on the Bible. Because we have Pastor Ginger, who every week is always there and is always teaching us. But it's cool to see it in a different lens, to see how someone else reads it and how someone else does it. And I know for a lot of things, like, for the longest time, I had never sat down and opened the Bible willingly and read it. And for Christmas, we read a whole book in the Bible. Like, my mom and I every day would read a book of the Bible, like the child did. Read the whole book. And then we came to church on Christmas. And my brother was home around that time. So he's like, where are you going? I'm like, we're going to church. He goes, why? And that, like, that special. I love him. Like, he's another me. Like, just older and, a male. But besides the point, we were talking and I was like, and he like asked me. He didn't ask my mom. My mom's always had like a religion thing. Like, she's always stuck by it and she's always been with it. Even if she didn't go to the church very often, she always had a religion. Like, she always identified with a religion. But I, for the longest time, didn't. And then, like, I didn't really realize how different I was acting, I guess. Because before coming to church, like, everything was just like kind of there. Like, Sundays were to go to the beach or to do whatever I wanted, or do homework. Procrastination. To do homework.
Good.
And that's changed because like my friends like to make sense. But they specifically don't make sense till after 1. Because if they want me to attend, they know I have to go to church first. And we were talking, I was with one of my friends before New Year's, and they were like, you go to church now. But it was such a random conversation. She goes, where did that come from? Like, Mom, 5 months ago you were telling me I don't like God. And I was like, no. I was telling you that I didn't know what the relationship was. I didn't know how to feel about it. Because I had never had something to pull me in or to bring. And then we went, and right around then, we had already started talking about mission trip and everything. And then we started talking about RTU. And that's something that I had never done before. And that RTU happened with my grandfather in the hospital. That day, when we were leaving, I had missed a lot of school that week. So we're I had missed a lot of school because I go to my AP class and then I leave. I didn't need to be in school. Being by my grandfather's side was more important to me than being in school. And then that weekend was RTU, and my grandpa and I had talked about it. It was something small. He didn't, he knew what it was, but he didn't know what it was. And then every morning, 6 a.m., because we were always up at really odd times. See 4 hours that whole weekend. We love that. And then that day when we got back on that Sunday, I wasn't home even an hour. We picked up my brothers and went right back to the hospital. But that whole weekend, like, it was a good distraction from what was going on and all the hard times. And it brought me closer to God because I got home and he was awake. He was breathing alone. And he was bad. He had tubes down his throat, breathing for him, hooked up to a whole bunch of machines. Like, that was something that was so hard for me. And then we got back. My mom would call me at like 6 a.m. and be like, oh, give me an update. Or I'd call her at like 1 in the morning and be like, we're back at the hotel. What's happening? And she'd give me an update then. And she called me that Sunday before we had gone down to eat and to do our little like service thing. She called me that Sunday and she's like, he's awake. He opened his eyes and the first thing he said, "Y la niña?" I was freshman class because I'm his favorite. And you can't tell me I'm wrong because every time I go, he is like, he hugs me first because I'm his favorite. And we do this thing that my mom and I hug him a lot. Like, we'll like pretend to like fight over him. We do it with my grandma sometimes. But my grandma doesn't like it as much. She doesn't find it as much. She doesn't find it as much. So we're doing, but to me, like, we're praying. And the week before we left Tartu, we were praying. And I broke down crying, like full on. And then someone continued the prayer, and everyone was like hugging. And I've never been so grateful for anything in my life. God is really an amazing thing. He brings you closer to strangers, to people in your own community that you might have never met. Because I know coming to this church, there's people in here that are like, oh, you live here? Like, you go to school with me? Would have never known. But God is an empowering thing. He brings you love and he brings you joy. And even in your hardest times, he brings you hope and faith. One of my middle names is Hope, after a family member. But every time I hear the word hope, I don't think of the family member. I think of God and how much hope he's brought into so many of our lives. And I've never been more grateful for anyone as I am for God. And that's through missions, and that's through service that I've done with church. I've been at church every day this week, except for Thursday. Every week. And maybe it. But that cancellations, you know? Downtown, it's like coronavirus, leave us home, stay away. So we listen. But every day, we were like, I get home from school, we'd go to church. Like, we'd have an hour or two, my mom home, and we'd go to church. Watch my barefoot, I probably want shoes. It's a funny story. The story behind the shoe thing, because it doesn't really make sense. I don't know what happened. I'm sorry, Louise. I love you. You know this. I love you. But it needs to be shared. They need to laugh with us. Just 3 people laughing doesn't make sense. So we were packing the boxes to send to the Bahamas, and Pastor Ginger had put her shoes to the side so she didn't have to wear them all packed. Like, she wasn't walking around with them. So then at the end of the night, when all our boxes are packed and everything's like stacked away over here, Ginger looks at the corner and goes, where are my shoes? Have any of you seen pink shoes? And Louise goes, yeah, I packed those away. And Ginger, she didn't even care. She was like, all right, I'll drive home barefoot. Like, she was like, it's like past her mind. She was like, I'm not worried. And then we were talking, and she was like, there's places, like there was a church that did a sermon, and they literally took off the shoes they were wearing at church, put them in a box to donate. They drove home barefoot. And that's something that unless you were there, like, it's such an amazing, like, thing to, like, you know, most people freak out about their shoes. Like, shoes are so important to most people. She was like, I have one. boxes that we just packed with like 100 things of tape and 100 things of shoes. Makes more money, yeah. But just everything that happened this week and these 3 months are hard to think about, maybe. In a way, like, everyone's scared of this virus and everyone's not talking, or like they'll stay away like 10 feet radius. Because I know a lot of like people who are very like, on top of each other all the time. They're very like lovable people. And they're like separate. And then you come to church and things change too. But even with things changing, we're still in church. We're still praying. We're still giving worship. We're still giving offerings. And a lot of people might have not come because they're sick and it's a health risk for them. But I promise you, even then, they're still worshiping. They're still praying. They're still showing their love for God, even if it's small. Would you guys like to pray with me? Lord, thank you for today, and thank you for giving me an opportunity to show how I think of you and how I care for you. Thank you for everything you've done for me and my community. Bring me closer to you and show us that service is how we serve you and is the right way to serve you. Be with everyone as they leave today or as they go and do other things. In Jesus' name we pray.